Good evening. I'd like to call the Winterville Town Council meeting to order. Today is Monday, May the 11th, 2026. The time now is 6 p.m. Today, our invocation will be given by Pastor Matt Morgan of Integrity Church. If he will step to the podium, please. And after he give us the prayer, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this evening and this gathering. I thank you for the laughter in this room before we get to business, reminding us of friendship and brotherhood and sisterhood. Thank you for these servants of the town of Winterville and the citizens, the business owners and first responders, Lord, for a community that is pouring into the flourishing of a city. I thank you for the ways that images your good kingdom. And so, Lord, would you meet us in this time? Would you bring peace to this place? We love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, I'd like to thank Pastor Morgan for stepping up. I asked him at the last second, and you did a great job. Really appreciate that. Again, my name is Ricky Hines, and Mayor here, and we would like to welcome everybody that's out in our audience tonight that's here to join us. And we'd like to welcome everyone that's watching us via the internet. Next up, we will have our roll call. If everybody would get their clicker. No quorum?
Everyone, Evan Johnston is our technical guru this evening, so I appreciate him.
For everybody at home, we got the Jeopardy music going. All right, let's try it again. If not, all right. And Councilman Moore.
Present.
Councilwoman Smith.
Present.
Councilwoman Robinson.
Present.
Councilwoman Harrell.
Present.
Councilwoman Hawkins.
Present.
We have a quorum. Next up is the approval of the agenda. Turn it over to, do you have something?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Don, I don't think we have any changes, do we?
Amendment.
Yes.
Right.
Do you have a copy, and was provided an amended agenda packet for approval, so staff presents that accordingly.
Okay, all right. With that being said, can I get a motion on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor, motion made by Councilman Moy. I'm sorry, I rescind that. Motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilman Moy. Any discussion?
I do have discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
I have shared, I have requested that an item I placed or requested an item be put on new business, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I am seeking a reasonings as to why it has not been placed up there. I have submitted reasons why I believe it should be placed up there via my what I believe and via the law. So I would like to know why it is still in other agenda items. Please, if someone could explain.
Good evening, Councilwoman Hawkins. I believe you and I shared some emails related to that subject, and I believe, and I've consulted with the town attorney, so I think council can choose to make that change before they vote on the agenda this evening.
All right.
And that would be correct. The agenda's prepared as before the council. If the council would like to move one item from one place to another, the council can do that tonight and place it under what, new business?
Okay, any more discussion?
Do we need to make a motion for
You
that
got,
change?
you got a motion on the floor.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Mayor,
just-
if Councilwoman Hawkins, well, I'll just leave it as is.
That's why.
Right, but I'm saying it's a motion on the floor, correct?
There is a motion to approve it.
Right.
I think what we have is maybe a motion from Councilwoman Hawkins to amend it.
Right.
And then.
That's what I was asking.
Right.
So, can you direct me? Do I need to make a motion to amend
Yes,
the motion
ma'am.
to approve? Thank you. So I make a motion that we amend the motion to approve the current standing agenda to move item number 4 up to new business so that would then be item number 5. And if I need to explain it, I can do that as well.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion to amend the agenda to move item, what did you say, number 4?
Item number 4 from
I-
other agenda items.
Okay,
to
item
new
number 4,
business.
other agenda items to,
New business 5.
okay, to new business, item 5, correct? Is that right?
That's correct.
Correct. And the motion made by Councilwoman Hawkins, second by Councilwoman Dr. Harrell. Any discussion on that?
I guess I would just like clarity and understanding the reasoning.
So the reasoning have been provided in the emails. If I need to pull my emails back up, I will give it. Do I need a second to do that, per your request? And then I can elaborate.
I'm trying to understand how we have two motions.
Excuse me.
We have two motions on the floor. Wouldn't it be better to amend the motion to accept the agenda?
I just did amend it.
And I think that's essentially what her motion is doing, is amending the first. And then, depending on how that vote goes, we'll come back to the original motion.
Okay, so we're voting on her motion right now, correct?
Correct.
To move the items, all right? If there is no further discussion, I'm sorry.
Did Councilwoman Smith,
yes.
did you need the explanation?
Well, I just want the explanation of the difference between an item being under other items and being under new business.
Can I reference, you want me to reference?
No, the reason,
The reason?
typically under new business, if those are things coming before us for an approval or a motion, and not typically the case with other agenda items, is that correct?
This is not.
Town
other
Manager
agenda
Parker,
item.
can you explain just the difference between other and new?
I can, and technically there is no difference in terms of what council can take action on. You all can take action at any point on the agenda that you see an item that you would choose to take action on. So I think Councilwoman Hawkins in her email stated that, and I'm paraphrasing, but something to the effect of that generally, you may not have used that
I
word.
have it
but-
right in front
Oh,
of me.
okay, great.
So, other than 5 specific points, which can be compared to other items, this particular item is an item that involves statutory obligations and governance responsibilities. Placement under new business is more appropriate than other business items. This includes directing staff regarding records management practices, clarifying classification policy, determining custodianship, and I can elaborate if you need me to, establish or confirm retention procedures, and address and correct potential non-compliance. This is not an informational item. This is not an item that the council can just look at me and say, we're moving on. This is new business, and that is what sets it apart distinctively. It is not the same as other items. And we have a motion on the floor.
Again, well, the motion is on the floor. Y'all can vote it up or down, so, correct? Right?
That would be correct. And I just take 1 second I think to just echo what the town manager said earlier. As far as for board action, for board consideration, board discussion, board action, you can vote on anything, whether it's old business, new business, or other agenda items. So as far as action goes, it wouldn't make any difference where the matter's located.
All right. Could you please you got the right one up, right slide up?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So we are voting for the change or not?
Yeah, we're voting for the change. Okay, all right. Motion approved to move it from, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct. It
Correct.
passed to move it, so.
So it's now new business item number
Yes,
5.
new business item number 5.
Correct.
Correct.
And now we
Okay.
just need a motion. We've got the motion, need to vote to approve the agenda.
Right, now the motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor and a second. Motion made by Councilwoman Dr. Harrell, second by Councilwoman Hawkins to approve the agenda. Any discussion? If none,
Hold on.
hold on. Let me bring this up.
Just for clarity's sake, the one we just approved was the motion to amend.
Right,
And now is
right.
the motion to approve the amended agenda.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Mhm. Okay, if you use your clicker to vote, please. Motion carry. All right, thank you. Next up is recognition of our new employees of Lieutenant Hamilton.
Good evening, town mayor, council, town manager, and citizens of the Winterville. The Winterville Police Department is proud to formally introduce 2 of our newest officers. Both these officers were hired in the middle part of 2025. They both went through,
Thank you.
is that better?
Yes.
There we go. They both went through an excruciating 6 months of basic law enforcement training, followed up by 3 months of field training. They have recently just completed their field training in the middle of April and are on full-time shifts. I'll start off in alphabetical order by last name, not by size. We'll start off with Sean Bailey here. Officer Sean Bailey is originally from Georgia, attended high school in Georgia, and then he went and got his bachelor's and master's degree in kinesiology at East Carolina University, where he also played football. Go Pirates. He has minors in leadership studies and exercise and sports studies. Prior to entering law enforcement, he also coached for the East Carolina University Pirates, Fayetteville State University, and the University of Texas at San Antonio. Officer Bailey enjoys lifting weights, attending sporting events, and collecting sports memorabilia. He is also a third-generation law enforcement officer, and he is continuing a long-standing family tradition of public service. Officer Sean Bailey. Next up, we have Officer Austin Payne. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Met you a couple times.
On the good side.
Yes, sir. On the good side.
On the good side. Make that clear.
Dr. Harrell, I met you a little while ago.
Nice to meet you, thank you.
Talking.
And I'll explain that. He was a Marine. Yeah, there we go. So Officer Austin Payne, originally from Louisiana. Officer Payne was hired by the police department in 2025. He's previously served active duty in the United States Marine Corps and successfully completed basic law enforcement training from Wilson Community College last year. He also worked prior to this as a sheriff's office, I think 2 sheriff's offices in Louisiana. His hobbies include firearms training and related activities. He is married and has 1 son of Dawson Payne. The Winterville Police Department is proud to have both officers serve in our community and looks forward to their continued growth and success in our department. Officer Austin Payne.
And thank you to both officers. Really appreciate y'all choosing us.
They're going to work now.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up is proclamations. Mr. Harvey.
Thank you, Mayor. We have several proclamations this evening. The first one is proclaims May as National Tennis Month. Whereas on May 21, 1881, the USTA, originally known as the United States National Lawn Tennis Association, founded in New York City, New York, to create rules and standards for the emerging game of lawn tennis. And whereas the USTA is the nonprofit national governing body for tennis in the United States and leads the promotion and growth of the sport at every level of play, from beginners to professionals at the U.S. Open. Whereas the Down East Community Tennis Association is the local USTA Community Tennis Association with a mission to serve our Pitt County community by promoting the important health, social, and educational benefits of tennis, and to make the sport available to everyone, regardless of age, environment, condition, or ability. And whereas the latest research by the Physical Activity Council shows that more than 27.3 million Americans played tennis in 2025, an unprecedented 6.2% increase in participation over 2024, and the highest number of players since the PAC study began in 2007. And whereas research shows that regular tennis participation can add up to 9.7 years to a person's life, reduce chronic disease risk, strengthen mental well-being, and whereas by increasing the accessibility of tennis for citizens of Winterville, North Carolina, of all ages and abilities, the USTA has contributed to making our community happier and healthier. And whereas USTA has declared the month of May as National Tennis Month to encourage players, organizations, facilities, retailers, tennis manufacturers, and more to promote local programs and activities at parks and facilities to showcase tennis and spread the word about the sport and its benefits, and to help players and non-players alike find courts and play opportunities in their communities. Now therefore, I, Richard E. Hines, Mayor of the town of Winterville, hereby proclaim May 2026 as National Tennis Month, and hereby urge the citizens of Winterville to become aware of and support National Tennis Month. In witness whereof, I do set my hand and cause the seal of Winterville to be affixed this 11th day of May, 2026. And I do believe we have someone here representing their organization.
Good evening, Mayor Hines and the town council. My name is Rodney Bailey, and I'm associated with the Down East Community Tennis Association. We are an affiliate of the United States Tennis Association. Our mission is to promote community health and wellness through the sport of tennis. We advocate for, coordinate, and help maintain tennis opportunities for players of all ages and backgrounds. Our guiding principle is accessibility, ensuring that tennis is open to everyone in Pitt County, tennis for all. First, I'd like to thank you all for proclaiming May as National Tennis Month. As you just heard all the good stuff about tennis. And secondly, I want to take a moment to thank Ms. Diane White and the Parks and Recreation Department for embracing the DCTA as partner through Project ROD. Project ROD is Racket on Demand. This is our local tennis pantry where we have a box where we put on the fence at the court and we stock it with rackets every week. We hope that they will return the rackets, but a lot of times they don't, so we replace them. And last year, in 2025, we put in 43 tennis rackets and countless number of balls. Before I close, I'm excited to announce that Winterville and Greenville is hosting the state North Carolina Tennis Association 65 and over tennis tournament starting this week, Thursday through Sunday. We have 69 teams coming from all across the state, 65 years and older. We want to invite everybody to come by and watch some tennis and see that the camaraderie and everything that goes with it. We're excited to continue supporting Winterville's efforts to provide a healthy lifestyle. DCTA remains committed to expanding tennis opportunities for juniors, adults, and adaptive players across Pitt County. We look forward to future collaborations that help even more residents discover the lifelong benefits and the joy of our sport, tennis. Anyone interested in starting to play tennis can go online to trytennis.net and sign up for lessons. Thank you, and happy Tennis Month.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd never been to Bayward Tennis Club until about a month or so ago. And I was really surprised, and it's really a nice facility. And I met the members, and they seem so willing and open to add this sport to our community and the efforts that they've made. So I do applaud them for that.
Thank you. Yes,
I had a question. What was the location where the tennis event will take place?
We're using tennis courts here in Winterville at Baywood Racket Club, the Greenville Country Club, Wilson Country Club, and Snow Hill, the Green Ridge Racket Club in Snow Hill.
Yes, sir. Thank you. For the state championship, is
Yes.
there that all of those locations?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you.
Our next proclamation is one that's hits right at home here with our staff, and that is National Public Works Week, May 17th through the 23rd. and entitled this year, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Winterville. And whereas these structures, these infrastructure, facility, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste system, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential to our citizens. And whereas it is in the most public interest for citizens, civic leaders, and children in Winterville to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. Whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Be it now, therefore, I, Richard E. Hines, Mayor of Winterville, hereby designate the week of May 17th through the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. In witness whereof, I do set my hand and cause the seal of Winterville to be affixed this 11th day of April, 2026.
Thank you. And congratulations, Public Works Week. We appreciate everything you do, Cliff, you and your staff, for the town of Winterville. Next up is Mental Health Awareness Month and Dr. Haru.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Town Council, staff, and our wonderful citizens. If you look at us and we have green, and you see green with some of our staff, green is the international color for mental health awareness, symbolizing hope, strength, and support. Wearing green, especially during May, which again is Mental Health Awareness Month, helps to break stigma, spark conversations, and show commitment to mental well-being. The proclamation. Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2026. Whereas mental health is essential to the overall well-being of individuals, families, and communities, impacting how we think, feel, and act as we navigate daily life. And whereas 1 in 5 adults in the United States experiences a mental health condition each year, and many individuals face challenges in assessing prompt, affordable, and culturally competent care. And whereas increasing public awareness and understanding of mental health reduces stigma, encourages early intervention, and promotes recovery and resilience. And whereas the town of Winterville is committed to fostering a community where all residents feel supported, valued, and empowered to seek help without fear or judgment. And whereas community partnerships, including local organizations, healthcare providers, schools, and advocates play a vital role in expanding access to mental health resources and education. And whereas initiatives such as community outreach, prevention efforts, and wellness programs contribute to strengthening the mental, emotional, and behavioral health of our residents. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month provides an opportunity to promote education, encourage open conversation, and reaffirm our commitment to enhancing communities to promote comprehensive wellness. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Richard E. Hines, Mayor, on behalf of the Town Council of Winterville, North Carolina, do hereby recognize the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month in the town of Winterville, and encourage all residents, organizations, and community leaders to increase awareness, reduce stigma, support those in need, and take action to promote mental wellness throughout our community. Be it further proclaimed that the town of Winterville calls upon all residents to recognize the importance of mental health, to support individuals and families affected by mental health challenges, and work together to build a healthier, more resilient community. In witness whereof, I have set hereto my hands to this day, 11th day of May, 2026, Richard E. Hines, Mayor. Well, we have our holistic folks here, which will be presenting. So ECU, our team from ECU is here.
Okay.
And Miss Debbie has on green. Miss Jasmine has on purple to represent East Carolina, so they are here.
All right. Next up is actually our presentation. If you make yourself over to the podium, I think. While they're making their way to the podium, this is ECU Help Hub. Deborah Gray, MBA, Assistant Director of Community Engagement at ECU Help, and Jasmine Briley, Community Engagement Coordinator 2 at ECU Help. We welcome y'all.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us and giving us this opportunity to talk about community health engagement and the things that we do. We recently were so happy to install a new health hub at the Winterville Library. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, go by and see the resources. Jasmine's going to tell you a lot more about health hubs and what you can find there. So thank you again for your time tonight.
Good afternoon, I'm Jasmine Briley, and I'm going to tell you all about our Health Hub initiative. The community engagement team first beginning installing health hubs in May of 2023 as access points to virtual care services. The hubs have now expanded to incorporate information on a variety of resources. And we're going to go into some of those resources that you can find at the health hub, okay? It also includes a big book of everything, which is our nickname for it, but it's a community resource guidebook. This is a picture of some of the other health hubs in other counties, kind of a space for you to go in and sit down, access the vital sign devices, and also on the pictures you'll see on the left, you'll see one of the books, and then on the other side, you see the book as well, what we call a community resource guidebook. As of 2024, we had 20 health hubs. 2025, we had 57. We are now, our goal For 2026 is 90. We're right now at 62. So we are trucking along to get there. And as you can also see, the number of health hubs we have in different counties. Of course, start with Pitt County being our home county, up to 30. And then other surrounding counties where we have our ECU community hospitals as access points to care. And we're trying to grow in those areas as well. Items at the Health Hub. As you saw, the big resource guide book, and we also have the vital signs book to help you if you have never used the thermometer, the blood pressure cuff, and the pulse oximeter. The vital signs guidebook helps you with those vital signs. And then a resource guidebook has everything in it from to help out with social determinants of health as far as education, employment, transportation, kind of those things that you can get access to, because we all know it's not just seeing our primary care or a physician to better our health. It's all those things in our built environment all help out with our well-being and health. With the laptop charger, mouse, and headphones for privacy, and sanitizing wipes, hand sanitizer, and face masks. This is one of the indicators that we use to help place health hubs in different areas, the social vulnerability index, and it gives a number based on from 1 to 100 based on those things I just mentioned: social determinants of health, socioeconomic status, household characteristics, racial and ethnic minority status, housing type, and transportation. So based on those numbers of that area and numbers high or low in that area, not just gauges how we plant those resources, but the need there and how we're gonna assess, making sure we get the most resources when we come in there, not just place a health hub, but partner with that site or organization and the ambassador of the health hub to bring more of the specific resources that that area may need. We also have, if someone wants a little bit more privacy and they want to get in contact directly with us, we have a QR code on our book and our flyers that they can scan, and it goes directly to our team, where it's a press gaining survey, and they would, our team will help them with certain resources. The survey provides information related to certain triggers. So it would trigger if you need something with employment or something with primary care. It'll have certain triggers to certain individuals on our team to help you out with those resources. I'm gonna give you a quick example of what that form looks like real quickly. Oh, okay.
So this is just an example of the survey that'll come up. If you take your phone, you come up, you have the flyer, has a QR code.
Excuse me, could you step, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yes, thank you.
So they can hear you at home.
There will be a QR code on a flyer that we have available. You take your phone, scan the QR code, and this survey will come up. It'll ask a few very basic demographic questions: your name, your phone number, your zip code, your email address, and your date of birth. And you give us that information, and then it goes in and it'll ask you race, sex. If you have a primary care doctor, do you use MyChart or some other patient portal? How did you hear about us for the survey? Do you need help obtaining medical insurance? Are you in need of employment or finding a job? Are you worried about housing or utilities? That could be heat or electricity. Are you having trouble keeping food in your home? And are you currently having difficulty with transportation? Do you feel safe in your environment? And are you interested in obtaining information for services for mental health counseling? Then we also asked a few questions about mobile health unit and if you would be willing to see a primary care provider via a virtual visit on a mobile unit. Just for our information, it's just a poll that we were taking to talk more about that. We asked about your internet service and who your provider is. So those are the basic questions, and the reason I show you this is if you answer no to one of these questions. So for an example, let's just say, do you need help for finding employment or interested in finding a job? If you click yes, the way the survey is set up is it will send a message to a department at ECU Health to let them know that you're interested in talking with them about any open positions. And then someone from that department, if you've given us your email and/or your phone number, they can reach out to you and talk you through how to build a resume, what positions we have open, and those type of things. So that's just one example of how the survey works to try to meet the needs of the community. So we really encourage people to scan the QR code, take the survey, because that's really the best way for us to get the resources to individuals as needed. Can I just exit out of that?
And this is our Cancer Facts program. I'm also gonna let Miss Debbie go into more detail about, because this is close to her heart, which we combined in some of our libraries. We combined in some of our libraries across one of the libraries that we're working with in the Health Hub program.
So the Cancer Care Facts and Scan program is actually a collaboration between our Cancer Care Department at ECU Health and the libraries that we partner with in different communities. And we realized that there was an opportunity here to be able to provide to individuals who are going through the diagnosis of cancer, who need to have application forms for maybe medication assistance or some other programs. The information needs to come from them back to ECU Health. Well, not everybody lives in Greenville. They should, but they don't. And then they have to travel a distance. And so we know there's transportation issues. So we wanted to find a way that they could send the information back and not have to travel. So we've partnered with our health hubs that are already in place in the libraries, and we have individuals go in at no charge, and they can scan or fax their applications directly to Cancer Care Program at ECU Health. We have 8 libraries that participate in the faxing program. They're listed at the bottom. They're in Gatesville, Windsor, Allander, different areas. And there's also an article you may have seen, Digital Literacy and Health Hubs, that talks a little bit about this program. But it's just really getting off the ground, but we're very excited about it. So we feel like that's just one more way that we can have an access point for individuals in rural communities to help meet their needs.
And we stress when we have the sit down with the ambassadors or that organization or anyone else who's going to be, I like to call it, manning the health hub and helping our patrons, congregation, or their community members out. We make sure they know that it's a partnership. Our team, community engagement, supports them, monthly check-ins, restocking of resources, like I said, providing the training, and we'd like to partner with them with community events. So we've been at the Winterville Library when they have something going on during the daytime, possibly during the weekends. The ambassadors help publicize, thanks to Winterville Library for publicizing the Health Hub in the social media and on the news, word of mouth, and of course, providing the information from our monthly newsletter that our department sends out about all kinds of information, not just our programs, but our community health department at ECU Health. All right, any questions?
Anyone have any questions for these young ladies?
I do have just a few slides to tell you about the future of health hubs that I think you'll find very interesting. Thank you. So we've told you about the health hubs, introduced that whole idea, but to expand on that even further, we have started or are in the process of implementing a mobile clinic pilot within 2 counties, in Martin and Beaufort County. So we have several problems that we're trying to solve here. We know that many rural patients do lack primary care. That results in increased emergency department visits, sometimes for minor issues that could be treated in other situations. They wouldn't have to go to the emergency room. We also know that transportation and broadband barriers limit access to primary care and virtual care. And there is a need for us to be creative about how do we expand care delivery options. And we can use technology and community partners to be able to reach more of the underserved and reduce some of the strain on emergency services. So the target population and the scope of services, for our target population, we look at our high-need, high-risk patients that live in rural communities. They have transportation concerns, lack of internet connectivity, and it's irregardless of what their payer source is. The patients don't usually go to their doctor, even if they have one, they just don't go. That may be because they don't have transportation to get there. We have locations in Beaufort County and in Martin County. You can see the two locations there. One is in a faith-based organization, Triumph Missionary Baptist Church in Washington. The other is a community center, West Martin Community Center in Oak City. And the services, the scope of services are to deliver primary care, again, to help reduce some of those avoidable ED visits, inpatient admissions and readmissions, to also provide chronic disease management. If you read anything about what kind of diseases we see in Eastern North Carolina, you're going to see hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, and all of those things. So we want to be able to help manage those chronic disease before they get to a level that, you know, they're not as manageable. Any minor illnesses, things that you don't need to go to the emergency room for, those are the things that need to be treated through this scope of service. Medication management, especially for anxiety and depression, that's one of the key things to treat those, is to make sure you're taking your medication on a regular basis. Some post-operative care, as well as wellness and prevention. The things that would be out of scope for this particular location would be anything that is an emergent situation. Call 911 always. Visit your emergency room if you're having chest pain, shortness of breath, unstable conditions. So that would not be the environment for this. And this is kind of a busy slide here, but I'll try to summarize it for you. It's basically, how does this work? So the patient's journey really begins with us identifying who are the patients, and we can use some of our data that we have from our inpatient and emergency room utilization to determine the patient's addresses and the social determinants of health criteria within those specific areas, so we can actually home in on that. And we are able to then determine this would be a good location for us to put this pilot location. And so then we begin with scheduling. So the patient's scheduled just like if you have a normal doctor's appointment, right? You got to get on the schedule. So once you're scheduled, a health hub that's within a 15-mile radius is selected for you to go have that appointment versus going to the doctor's office. You go in, you have a pre-visit planning phone call where someone from my team will give you a call, talk to you, make sure you have everything you need for the appointment, make sure you have transportation to get to your appointment. And then once you arrive, you come in and you're greeted by, again, one of my team members, and then you're checked in. We talk to you about My Chart. If you don't have My Chart, we're going to see if we can get you signed up for My Chart. My Chart's a great tool. If you don't have it, let us know. Let us get you information on that. Virtual visit is the next thing. That's what you're there for. You sit down in a room and you have a staff member come across the screen that is clinical. That'll get you checked in, similar to when you go to the doctor's office and the nurse comes in and kind of asks all the questions. And then you're ready for the provider to come on the screen and do your actual visit. Then at the end of the visit, you get after visit summary, the piece of paper that you get when you go to the doctor's office. You're going to get one of those here as well. And then there are any of the follow-up, we can make sure we take care of all that for you as well. This is what it looks like. The first picture there is actually the ocular view tower. It has a monitor, camera, microphones, computer, and then the screen there that says ECU Help. Then you can see on the other side where the provider is actually talking with the patient, and then you will see the representative there from ECU Help that helps get you signed on and walks you through everything you need to know to get that visit started. Then they exit the room and you have your confidential visit. And then again, the same supplies that you saw in the health hub, we provide there on the wall. So ECU Health is responsible for the equipment and the minor renovations to the space in the health hub, so they want it to be a consistent look, so whichever one you go to, it feels the same. And so those are the things that we're responsible for. It is a partnership, and the same thing that we've talked about the whole time I've been up here, those same barriers, transportation, not having the internet that you need, and not having a primary care provider are the things that we're looking to solve with this. Any questions regarding this pilot? Is a 6-month-long pilot. We hope to get it off the ground in late June, early July. We're doing these 2 locations to start off, and then we hope to have a true mobile clinic on wheels that we'll have at our 3rd location, so you will go on to a mobile unit. This is inside of a building that I'm talking about now, so this is a stationary mobile clinic. So the provider doesn't move, but the staff picks 2 different days a week to be at the 2 different locations. That was a lot. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Anybody?
Again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
this
you all
evening.
for coming
Good
tonight.
information.
We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Next up, we have our sewer master plan, and Rivers and Associates be coming up after our assistant town manager. Uh-oh.
While he pulls that up, I'm gonna just go ahead and give an introduction into the agenda item. So tonight, we have before you a presentation for the sewer master plan and capital improvements plan. Rivers and Associates has been engaged with the town of Winterville for the assessment of our sewer master plan. This study was funded with a $150,000 American Rescue Plan grant in partnership with NCDEQ. They were responsible for identifying and determining the condition of the land in the town's future growth area. The conditions determine where to strategically place sewer infrastructure to minimize costs. They have worked with the town staff to identify, review, and assess the town's existing infrastructure and future needs based on potential growth areas. There were 16 major projects identified, and they have a value of $54,600,000. Just not too much money. This CIP provides a 10-year plan and addresses these projects. The presentation will provide the council with an overview of the master plan. It will also provide the detailed list of the capital projects that will be incorporated into future budgets, hopefully. Accepting the CIP tonight does not obligate the town to do the projects as they are scheduled in the CIP, but as a guideline, it is an attempt to plan. And as we do with each budget process, we'll go through and review and see which projects can be incorporated into our budget and funded. With that, we will have Blaine Humphrey, Stephen Reese, and Ethan Ames representing Rivers and Associates. And we will have that up for you in just a second. There is also a copy of the presentation in your agenda.
While they're trying to pull that up, we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
I'll reiterate. Do y'all need a copy of it?
We've got it on flash drive.
You need a copy of it?
This is a big no-no.
I wouldn't take that.
Is it this one right here, working copy, Town of Winterville Sewer AI presentation?
Yes. Nope. That's not it.
And you can use the mouse or the clicker.
That's the wrong one, actually, I'm sorry. I have two on here, I guess I have the old one. It's, go to the folder, go in the Winterville folder. That's the presentation. I forgot I had the old one on here still.
There you go.
Yep, thank you.
Now we'll wait for everybody.
Say to say the least.
Reputation. Trying to. Got to the office this morning, I said, is it Friday yet? Right.
Call the meeting back to order.
Thank you, Mayor. We're now ready to begin the presentation. At the conclusion of tonight's presentation, we will ask the council to make a motion and adopt the CIP that has been provided and accept the presentation and adopt the CIP. With that, I turn it over to Rivers and Associates.
Good evening, council. Again, I'm Blaine Humphrey with Rivers and Associates. Ethan Ames is going to do the presentation. Stephen Reese also helped out with this. Just wanted to say what you might see tonight is essentially a plan with what was anticipated from staff of developments that might be looking at different areas of the town. And we tried to put the CIP together to mimic how those might hash out. But if you see, one development might fall through and another development might be a higher priority, that will shift the CIP around and the infrastructure that you look at trying to put in. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ethan.
Thank you. Good evening, council. My name is Ethan Ames. I'm a design engineer with Rivers and Associates. I've been working on this project with Stephen and Blaine for the last several months. I'm excited to share it with you.
It's just not our night, technologically.
There it goes. There we go. Before we go any further, I want to take a second to thank people at the town who helped us out with this project along the way. That includes Cliff McGuffin, Willie Gay, Anthony Bowers, and Terry L. Parker. This project was funded through a grant through the American Rescue Plan. That grant consisted of $150,000 with a 13-month time frame. To start with, we'll go over the existing sewer system. This map depicts the pump stations, gravity sewer, and force mains currently doing the collection work for the town. At the moment, there are 27 active town-owned pump stations they're doing operation and maintenance on. This is the Chapman Street pump station. This is essentially all of the collection system that feeds into the existing Chapman Street pump station that feeds to CMSD. It's mostly consisting of the northern portion of the town, and several pump stations also feed into this. This is the Church Street pump station subbasin. This is more of the southern and eastern portion of the town, and they're feeding down to that southern point, which is a pump station that feeds into the primary force main going to the CMSD wastewater treatment plant. Here we have a few isolated pump stations and subbasins. These all currently feed into a force main that goes to CMSD. This is essentially one of the things we're trying to avoid doing, is having all these isolated systems. Instead, we're trying to move towards a larger gravity collection system to avoid operation and maintenance excess. Here we have some historical population trends for the town. As you can see, in the beginning of the 2000s, we had a big increase of 7% and then another big increase of 9% between 2000 and 2008. At that point, the financial crisis hit, and we stagnated out to about 1% between 2009 and 2019. Then in 2020, we had another big boom of 8% before falling flat again for about 1% to between 2020 and 2023. And then recently, between 2023 and 2024, we had a 5% increase, showing a good sign of growth in the town. Here we have the projections we used to plan out these projects. We decided to go with 4% projected growth to mimic the historical increase over the last 24 years. This is essentially how we just laid out the projects on the CIP and how we choose what would be done first as far as expanding the system. Here we have a mixture of the town's historic wastewater treatment flow and the projected flow for the next 10 years. That black dotted line along the top is the amount of flow the town sends currently to the wastewater treatment plant. That orange bar on the bottom is the amount of actual flow the town is producing, so that's the actual wastewater itself. And that gray portion is the expected infiltration and inflow into the system. That's essentially clean water that's able to enter in through cracks in pipes, broken cleanouts, 4 manholes, such and such. As you can see, in 2013 to 2016 or so, the town was producing a lot more flow than it currently is today, despite an increase in population. That's because you guys have been doing a great job of going in and rehabilitating old portions of the sewer and preventing clean water from getting into the system. Currently, the CMSD pump wastewater treatment plant has about 704,000 gallons a day in capacity before they reach their 80% capacity limit. At that point, they need to start looking at how they're going to expand the plant to increase their production rate. With the projects we have planned out for the next 20 years, we're looking at about 260,000 gallons per day additionally. So you're within the limit, but it's important to start keeping that in the back of your mind that maybe we need to talk with them about increasing that. Here we have the existing sewer service boundary for the town. Currently, there are 2 projects underway, being the Quail Trace subdivision and the South Ridge subdivision in the southern portion of town. I believe I said that correctly. South Brook. But once those systems are completed, this is how the town's expected service boundary is. That's not entirely providing service there currently, but infrastructure is in place to provide service if they need to. This is how we're looking for the next 5 years as far as the projects we're proposing go. The first one we're looking at is a gravity sewer conversion for the Denali subdivision. This is one that came up after speaking with operators from the town who expressed a lot of operation and maintenance costs that's associated with the subdivision. Currently, they use 70 step systems, which are individual pump stations at each house, and they feed into a force main going to the Red Forbes pump station. The town operators had to go out to those very frequently to check on them, fix them, and it's a massive headache with a lot of costs associated with it. By going in and converting it to gravity sewer, it alleviates a lot of that extra operation and maintenance that's kind of excessive. We would then look to Church Street gravity sewer extension in the southern portion of town. This would extend the gravity sewer line from the Church Street pump station south to provide service to that portion of undeveloped area. Along with that, we have a Lori Ellis gravity sewer extension to the more southeast portion of the town. This is extending that gravity sewer to provide service in that area. We're then looking at a gravity sewer extension to that Quail Trace subdivision to provide service to the area north of that neighborhood. We then have a gravity sewer rehabilitation in the east portion of town. This is going in and installing pipelines and cracked pipes, replacing pipes that are collapsed or failing, point repairs on smaller portions that are more localized, and replacement and rehabilitation of manholes to prevent further inflow and infiltration. The goal is to just limit as much clean water into the system as possible so you have more capacity for an increase in population. Lastly, in 2031, we'd be looking towards this Eli Ridge gravity sewer extension on the east side of town. It's a large undeveloped area, and there's a deep manhole by the Eli Ridge pump station that you can tie into and serve a large portion of it. Additionally, we have a force main upsize for Red Forbes in Manchester. This is to support future growth in that area of town for an increase in flow. That would be to the, from where those 2 pump stations meet to the CMSD pump station. Then from 2032 to 2036, we'd be looking to start with a pump station just below Quail Trace. Reason being that currently there's no gravity sewer infrastructure in place that could serve that location, and you essentially need a pump station to get service there. Along with that, we'd be installing new pumps into the Quail Trace pump station to support all that increase in flow they'd be getting from the earlier gravity sewer expansion as well as this new pump station. We'd then be going east to Eli Ridge to complete a phase 2 of that gravity sewer extension, extending it all the way out to that next road where the town's service boundary would stop at. Following that, we complete 2 phases of the Lori Ellis gravity sewer extension to finish serving that portion of town and that expansion. We would then look to phase 2 of the gravity sewer from Church Street to serve even farther south than they were before. And then lastly, we'll be looking to these Eli Ridge Phase 3 and 4 to finish the gravity sewer extension in that area. And that portion to the east of town could all be served by gravity sewer without a pump station. This is the outlook from 2037 to 2047. This is where you start to get a little more uncertainty, but we still have some projects planned that are looking good. The big one is that future regional pump station to the west of town. That goal of that is to install one large pump station really deep to avoid having a bunch of smaller ones. And that station would be able to serve that large western portion of town based on where we'd be installing it. Then we have the Reedy Branch Pump Station that would go into the northern portion of town. Again, this is an area that there's no gravity sewer infrastructure in place that's deep enough to serve that area. The pump station would be required. Lastly, we have of the projects that have been planned out already, we have a Church Street Gravity Sewer Extension Phase 3. That'd be finishing out that service area to the Church Street Pump Station. Additionally, we have these 3 other projects that haven't been looked into too deeply, but they are potential in the future if you wanted to round out that service boundary and essentially flush out that portion of the town for the future. These are some cost estimates we prepared for all of these projects. I could spend 10 minutes reading through them, or we can discuss them later, and they are on that CIP as well. 2 projects that aren't included on that map are a Phase 1 SSES and Phase 2. That's basically us going through and smoke testing portions of the system, looking for areas where you might have a broken clean out or a manhole that needs to be replaced. That Phase 2 SSES would be looking at portions of the system that are suspected of being in poor condition, cracked pipes, sagging pipes, and we'd be going through with a CCTV camera to identify what sort of repair we'd need to fix them. This is that CIP we discussed earlier. Again, this is not binding you to any projects. It's simply a plan for the future to keep them in mind. Just a summary of all the things I've gone over here. First off, we'd want to remove approximately 70 simplex low-pressure sewer pumps. That's that Denali sewer gravity sewer conversion. Continuing to identify and remove excessive inflow and infiltration into the system to open up your collection system's capacity more. Upgrades to existing pump stations and force mains to support future development. That's primarily the Quail Trace pump station with higher flow pumps and the force main for Red Forbes in Manchester. We've identified 10 potential gravity sewer extensions, which are designed to prevent installing future pump stations to minimize excessive operation and maintenance costs. And we've identified 3 potential pump stations to support future town expansion that are needed because you can't get gravity sewer to them currently. Are there any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Is this plan available for the public? How can we get a hard copy for the public to read or review, or?
I'm sure we can upload it on our outlet or website.
And when can that be done?
I'm sure we can get it done this week.
Thank you.
And then post a link to it in our other outlets.
It may take a couple of weeks before we can get it finalized and put together to get it It may take a couple of weeks for us to finalize everything and get it pulled together to get it to you, but it can be, we'll have it both PDF and bound hard copies.
So once they finalize it, we can get that up. Yes, ma'am.
If I could, their document's gonna be much larger, much thicker. This is like an executive summary. I think the executive summary, we could probably get up there quicker. The document they're referring to is gonna be a lot of pages. So it'll take a little while for them to finalize everything.
And the larger document, we can certainly make available here at Town Hall for people if they want to look at it.
Councilman Moore, you have a question?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to receive the report and approve the sewer master plan and adopt the capital improvement program.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor and a second. Motion made by Councilman Moore, second by Councilwoman Smith to adopt and approve the CIP.
Is to accept the sewer master plan and what's
accept the
missing here and approve the capital improvement plan. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Any discussion on that? Mahesh?
I do have a question. Does this include the proposed increase or not? Or is that two separate things? I just need clarity.
Two separate things.
Thank you.
That's for the project that's currently underway, getting ready to wrap up.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more? Anybody else have any more questions? You ready? Okay. You can use your clickers to vote, please.
And just again, this to accept the master plan and adopt the CIP.
All right. Motion carried. Thank you, Blaine, and
Thank y'all very much.
thank y'all.
Thank you, council.
All right. Next up is Stephen Penn, public hearing on integrity church annexation.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. We do have an annexation for us tonight. Integrity Church has submitted an annexation petition. Integrity Church is located just south of Plant and Sea on Old Tar Road. So if you look at this north to south right here is Old Tar Road. This right here is Irish Lane. The applicant is from the church themselves. Again, this is right off of Old Tar Road, just north of Irish Lane and south of Plant and Sea. It's a 5.85 acre site, and this is just a boundary survey, just showing you the parcels as well. Staff does recommend approval of the annexation petition. If effective, if approved, then it will become effective May 31st, 2026. Are there any questions for staff prior to the public hearing?
Go back to that map and show me the city limits in that area. What is, because if you come down to our road there, right before, by B&B, who is Bank now? It's one of the city limit signs. So anyone would assume that anything on the other side, Winterville. Could you kind of show me where?
So one thing that makes it a little bit tricky is on this side of the street is Greenville. This side is Winterville. Once we get to the creek right here, all of it becomes Winterville. But that's what kind of makes it tricky, because I think the Winterville sign is somewhere kind of in this area right there, I think. Okay, yeah.
And Stephen, there's even a small portion along there that's the county.
That's correct, yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's a very tricky little area right there. It's a lot of jurisdictional kind of jurisdictions coming together.
Anybody else have any other questions before we open up the public hearing? If not, I now open up the public hearing on the annexation. If anyone would like to speak against the annexation, if they would come up to the podium and state their name. Anyone that would like to speak against the annexation? I asked again if anyone would like to speak against the annexation. They would like to come up to the podium, they can come up now. With no one that want to speak against, anybody who would like to speak for the annexation, if they would like to come up to the podium, they may come up to the podium now and speak in favor of the annexation.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Richie Brown with Stroud Engineering. I didn't want to leave you hanging, so I'm going to speak in favor of this annexation. Be glad to try to answer any questions if you have any.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Brown? Anybody have any questions?
I just want to ask Mr. Brown to clarify, after the annexation, the church will be connecting the town sewer?
Yes.
Due to the DOT expansion project?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Easements have already been acquired.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? If not, anybody else would like to speak? If not, I now declare the public hearing closed. And what is the pleasure of the board?
For annexation.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Robinson, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandy Harrell, for annexation of Integrity Church. Any discussion before we vote? If no discussion, you could use your clicker. Unanimous vote, and welcome to Winterville Integrity Church. All right, next up is our public hearings section. Public comment section, I'm sorry. I need to read this. Public comment policy. The public comment period of 30 minutes provide an opportunity for residents to comment on any item included in the agenda or to address the town council on any other matter related to the town of Winterville. For any items included in the public hearing section of the agenda, residents should address the council at the time the mayor invites public comments on the item. No public comment may be made to the council during the meeting except during the public comment period or as part of the public hearing. Individual speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and no more than 3 speakers may address the council on a single matter. The town council may elect to take no action on the matter addressed by a speaker, may schedule the matter for further consideration at a future council meeting, or may refer the matter to town staff for disposition. Copies of the public policy comment, copies of the town public comment policies are available in the rear of the assembly room. And we did have one that signed up, and that is Mr. Henry Hostetler.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Henry Hostetler, and I do thank y'all for your service, and thank you for allowing this public comment. I have a very important topic to speak on, tennis. We've heard it already today, but I just wanted to say it again. I came to you a couple of years ago and thanked you for keeping the tennis courts in Winterville in good shape, and also thanked you for not allowing any other sport to be on those tennis courts. I'm here again asking you to keep the tennis courts just for tennis. It has come to my attention that some lines for pickleball have been placed on a court. And you may or may not know, but a billion with a B dollars in tennis facilities has been taken by pickleball in this country over the past 10 years since pickleball has come into being. The two sports are not related. They are not interchangeable. And with pickleball lines on one of the courts, it does mean that one of the tennis courts has been taken away, basically. Just wanted to give you a few facts. Tennis has grown over 50% in the past 6 years, with other sports being more vocal. I will meet my 3 minutes. I will beat them. I'll be done in a minute. Thank you. With other sports are being more vocal, tennis keeps plugging along slowly and quietly. We have grown over 50% in 6 years. 1.3 million fans walked through the gates of the U.S. Open last year. It is the world's largest single sporting event. $750 million were taken in during a 2-week event. ESPN has just signed a $2 billion contract for the United States for the U.S. Open. Worldwide viewing is up everywhere, especially in Asia. 54% of the fan base of tennis are women. In numerous studies, as has already been noted, that tennis is the world's healthiest sport. It is also the second most gambling sport in the world, which may not be something that we should necessarily be proud of, but it does show the popularity of it. It is second most gambled sport because you can bet on every single point. Pitt County boasts 2 players in the top 100 in the world. In addition, the first time ever, South Central High School has a state champion, and his name was Shah Akula. Okay. That's a lot to be proud of.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hostetler.
I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Next up is our consent agenda.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Robinson to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion?
Do we have any hard copy document of this consent agenda available for the public? Also, item number 1, is that referencing closed session council meeting minutes?
If I may, an entire copy, hard copy of the agenda packet is out in the lobby.
Okay, perfect.
So for the public to review, and it's been in town hall all week in the lobby.
Thank you.
And secondly, any approval and/or discussion of closed session minutes is done first in closed session, so none of those pertain to this or tonight. So this would be the previous regular meeting minutes.
Thank you.
And any special minute, which I think tonight is just the April 13th regular meeting minutes.
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that being said, anyone else? If not, you can use your clicker. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, next up is old business, NCDOT Old Tar Road signage, signal white poles color or something.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, tonight before you is an old item of business. You may recall in a previous meeting, we had conversation regarding the Old Tar Road widening project. During that discussion, there were several items of consideration, everything from medians, landscaping, street signage, what that would look like if it was lighted, if it was not lighted. And one of the items that we discussed that night were the color of the signalized intersections, the color of the poles. And so our standard pole that DOT offered is a galvanized kind of silver pole. They wanted to know the town's position if we wanted the black pole. It's kind of, you see it in other larger towns. At that point in time, the city of Greenville had agreed to go with the black pole. That was something they were interested in. They have since changed their mind, decided to walk it back. So I think throughout this project, there was a hope to keep some continuity in the corridor. And so before just making a decision, we wanted to bring that back to council to see if y'all had a position. There is a cost for the black decorative pole, and that is in the amount of $23,500. So if you go with the galvanized pole, there is no expense to the town. It's covered by NCDOT. If we upgrade to the black pole, there's a cost of $23,500.
And Anthony, if I may, on our side of Fire Tower, as we start at Truist Bank coming in, some of those are Greenville, so they would be the galvanized silver. And so that whole corridor would, if we stay with black, would be different.
It would be Vernon White, Main Street, and then Old Tar, Worthington intersection. Would be the 3 black pole intersections.
So I think staff recommends keeping it consistent with Greenville. Certainly it's council's decision, but.
The 23,000, is that total amount for all 3, or that's
Yes,
for
that
just
was-
one?
That was for all 3.
All 3?
For the coating on them.
Okay.
As much as I was excited about those nice poles, I think for the whole purpose was continuity, and it saves us $23,500. So I would, I make a motion that we use the galvanized poles to keep the continuity.
I have a motion on the floor, motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Robinson to keep the continuity of using the galvanized versus the black poles. Any discussion? All right, if no discussion, can you use your clicker, please?
Thank you, council.
Motion passed. Thank you. Thank you all. Next up is our new business, appointment of the WHRB liaison new member, and alternate member.
It'd be Donna.
Don.
Good evening, council. Some time ago and at last month's meeting, it was discussed that there was not a council liaison to Human Relation Board. Also, since that time, we've had a member resign, leaving a vacancy in the membership. And if you take a recommendation, which we typically have, we do have an alternate member presently. That person moves up, or whatever your pleasure is, then there would be a vacancy either in the alternate. So it is the council's decision to make these appointments and fill that board.
Okay. First, we need to accept Ms. Roach's resignation first as a council. Okay.
As a motion?
All right. To accept her
I'd like to make a motion that we accept Ms. Rhodes'
resignation.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor, a motion made by Councilman Moore, second by Councilwoman Hawkins, to accept the resignation of Ms. Roach. Any discussion? As soon as Evan gets. And while he's pulling the slide together, the other potential people are in your board package, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that we have applications on file at this
Okay.
time.
All right. On page 99 and 100. Yeah, 99 and 100. Okay, if y'all could use your clicker, please. Motion passed to accept their resignation. All right, next we'll move on to the new member. Oh, is it new member? No, liaison. What is it?
I suppose you can take it in any order.
Oh, you can take, okay. Y'all want to do the liaison first? Then we'll just go, okay, all right. All right, we'll move on to liaison next. Appointment of a liaison, anybody? Dr. Real, will you be interested in being the liaison? Not it. Okay. Anybody else understand?
Not at this time.
I take it. I take it. I'll be the liaison to the board. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Motion that our mayor serve as the liaison.
I second.
Have a motion on the floor and a second. Motion made by Councilwoman Robinson, second by Councilman Moy, to appoint Ricky Hines, the mayor, as the liaison to the Human WHRB board. Any discussion? If none, use your clicker. Motion carry. Thank you. Next up is our new member.
Mr. Harvey, did you say the alternate is in place and is currently acting in that role?
That is correct.
Do we know the desire for that alternate? Do they desire to continue?
They have asked that question on occasion as to what happens in that. So I would say yes.
Councilwoman Hawkins, do you have any knowledge?
Yes,
that you
so
want to share?
it's Dr. Cherie Daniels. She is the alternate, and I make a motion that she's moved to the Winterville Human Relations Board as a formal board member.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Hawkins, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Harrell to move Dr. Cherie Daniels to board member.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any discussion? If not, you can please vote now. Okay, thank you. All right, next up is an alternate to replace Ms. Daniels, Dr. Daniels. And we have two people that's in the thing.
We have three.
I'm sorry, three.
You have LaTanya Jones, Steve Parker, and Lakeisha Schaefer.
Now, my question is, well, can I discuss this?
No, you can discuss.
So I have a question. So when our citizens apply, are they being made, because essentially when they're first placed on the board or they're interested, we're providing them a presentation. So these citizens who have applied, are they aware that they will be an alternate in the interim? Or have they applied to be a board member? Or do we need to notify them of that? Because I don't see it in the application.
All members, or all applicants can either be applied as a full applicant or as an alternate, full member or an alternate, should there be an opening occur.
Does that say that here on here?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that was my question. That is not on here when they are applying. So how would they be, like if we appoint them to be an alternate member, they apply to be a member?
We have always, and with Ms. Daniels specifically, it's looked at as a training period to be on a board and to understand it, specifically the board that you're on. You get to know the people, you get to know what goes on and the workings of the advisory board.
Don, have these applicants been informed that it's an alternate position? I think that's.
They have
That's what I
not.
asked.
No.
They haven't. And so that is my question. I would hope that, while they have applied to be a board member, as opposed to us voting them into being an alternate, that we give space and time to notify them prospectively that they would be an alternate member. And so that is my, comment. I don't know if I need to make a motion, but if I applied for something, I would want to know, what status or position I'm put in the future via us updating policies. Perhaps we can put that in to make them aware.
I was getting ready to say, we could easily fix that by adding that line alternate up here. So they could check if they want to be alternate or a regular member.
Or if it didn't matter.
Or put some wording in there that would say by
Right.
filling out this application, you agree to serve as a
Serve as an
full-time or
alternate, right, or
alternate.
full-time or even alternate, by just putting it on our thing, it was easier to fix.
Sure.
Mhm.
So in the meantime, in the interim, how does that work today? Because in the past, we've selected people to be board members. Right, so.
I was notified, served as an alternate of planning and zoning. I was notified that I was, did I want to accept it? And then I accepted it, and I started to, and one. Planning, zoning did, how they did. I think that we are notified often. They're appointed. They're given the opportunity to get by design.
I was gonna suggest that's what we could do if you all make a choice this evening, and then if for some reason that person does not desire to take an alternate seat, then we would come back to council in June.
Sounds good, with also us having the plan to move forward with
Yes,
adding
ma'am.
that to the policy.
Yes, ma'am.
moving forward.
Okay.
I've currently got working on application verbiage in my notes, and then certainly as we get to policy changes, we can include that as well.
Y'all seen the 3 names that we have so far? What is the pleasure?
To be honest, I'm looking at the 3 names, and I do not know any of them. I know that they have an interest. It would just be, by chance, picking a name, but we don't know their interest. I think that also with looking at a policy moving forward, and we're looking, some are on other boards, or they have a preference. So, for example, Ms. LaTanya Jones's preference, her first preference is planning and zoning. Human relations is second. The second candidate, G. Parker, her first preference is Board of Adjustment. Second is Recreation and Park, and third is Human Relations Board. And then the third Human Relations Board is Lakeisha Schaefer. So with that being her first choice, I would think that ideally, we'll get to know her more, but that was her first choice, as opposed to a candidate with this being the third choice. Because Human Relations Board is, you have to really, we're launching out and doing a lot of different things out in the community. So that is my choice.
So Ms. Schaefer is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Lakeisha,
Lakeisha.
I move to appoint Lakeisha Schaefer.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second. Motion made by Councilwoman Hawkins, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandy Harrell to select Lakeisha Schaefer as an alternate to the Human Relation Board. Any discussion?
I do.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
would just add before we vote that as I'm reviewing Ms. Jones, Ms. LaTanya Jones, her application has been on file since '24. Ms. Schaefer's is newer. Ms. Jones has Human Relations Board as her second choice and has been a longtime resident of Winterville and graduated from a local high school. And the other appointee, and again, I know neither of these other than what's on the application, is a newer resident to Winterville. So I just want everybody to consider that. I feel like the applicant who has been on file a bit longer, but that's just my comment.
Okay. Any more comments? You got your slide? Okay. You can use your clicker, please. Motion carried 4-1 with Councilwoman Smith voting no. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on. Copper Creek, Section 3, final plat. Stephen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have one more today, Copper Creek Section 3 final plat. Copper Creek Section 3 is located on Reedy Branch Road. Reedy Branch Road's going north to south here. This is Copper Creek Section 1 right here to the south of it, and Copper Creek Section 2 right here just beside it. Applicant is Terra Ventures Group. Again, this is located on Reedy Branch Road, just north of Copper Creek, Section 1. It's a 34-lot subdivision on 12.8 acres with the R12.5 zoning district. Staff does recommend approval of the final plat as it has been approved by our technical review committee. Planning and Zoning Board also unanimously recommended approval of this at their April meeting. This just gives you an idea or a image of the subdivision itself. Reedy Branch Road is going north to south here. This is the main corridor coming into this phase of the subdivision, so houses on both sides of it, and it takes you into Copper Creek Section 2 here. There's also a stub just to the north for future connectivity, for residential connectivity in the future as well. Are there any questions for staff?
Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions for Mr. Penn?
Thank you.
If not, I entertain a motion for Copper Creek, Section 3, final plat.
Motion to approve Copper Creek, Section 3.
I second.
Okay. Have a motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilman Moy. Any discussion?
Can you please share, I apologize, can you please share what the location for this?
Yes, ma'am. So Copper Creek is located, this is Reedy Branch Road right here, and this is 903, the intersection of 903 and Reedy Branch. So if you come just south, you'll run into about a 13, 14 acre site. That would be on your right side if you're going south and run into the intersection of Reedy Branch and Highway 11 down here. Does that give you reference?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Not any more questions? To use your clicker, please. Motion carried. Thank you. Next up, is that Anthony? Assistant Town Manager Bowers, cost sharing agreement with Southbrook NC LLC.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is the cost share agreement with Southbrook NC LLC. The purpose of this agreement is to upsize and increase a borderline that runs through the Southbrook subdivision. The Southbrook development is installing an 8-inch line that will run from Lori Ellis Road to Church Street Extension. We're recommending that we increase the size of the line from 8-inch to 10-inch. This will serve the town considerable amount of time and money. This will save the town a considerable amount of time and money, as we will not have to separately construct an additional line to generate the needed pressure, flow, and redundancy and capacity in our water system. Our town CIP recommends that we get more volume on the southern portion of our system. And it was recommended many years ago that we have a 10-inch line. What we're doing is seizing the opportunity for a line that is being constructed in the area to tag team with this developer to increase the capacity so that we don't have to basically run a whole separate 10-inch line to the southern portion of town. So we can cooperate with them. The cost of this in phase 1 would be $92,121. And the cost for phase 2 would be $72,177. The total cost for this agreement is $164,298. And they will be due when the improvements are accepted by the town. So it will be a phase 1 and then a phase 2 for a total of $164,000. So King Lasser, town attorney, has reviewed the contract and we've been working with them. We have done cost share agreements with other developers. And so staff's recommendation is to move forward and seize the opportunity to partner with Southbrook NC LLC on the upsizing of the line.
Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Mr. Bowers, if we were to have to do this scope of work on our own, do you have an estimated cost to the town?
There have been estimates generated. I do not have that number in front of me. It is substantial. I can tell you, just roughly 300,000.
So it's a little bit over.
Excuse me, hold on, I got one more section there. So I apologize.
Less than half. All right.
539,000, that was for phase two, the 239 would be for phase two.
So it's substantial.
Correct. Phase one is in 2 tracks, so it was a little messy on my sheet here, but that's what it's costing overall to install it. So if the town had to absorb that whole cost, that's where we would be.
$500,000.
We would also have to take a different route, so you're looking at purchasing easements and things along that nature, which would be very time consuming.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the cost share agreement with Southbrook LLC.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor, motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Harrell, that we accept the cost share agreement with Southbrook NC LLC. Any discussion? If none, use your clicker, please. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you warm?
Keeps freezing. Okay. All right. Next.
I don't think so.
Next up is our downtown parking project.
I don't know why I didn't bring both of them with me, but anyway, I'm back again. So our downtown parking project is advancing. The town, as you may recall, is looking to expand parking in our downtown area. The council previously approved the project, and the project includes making changes to Church Street behind Town Hall, converting that to a two-way, converting Depot Street on the south end of Town Hall to one-way, and creating parking and sidewalks on the north side of Depot Street. This also includes increased parking at the town square on the west side of Church Street. We'll be looking to add additional 25 parking spots. And bids were received on May 7th through a formal process, having sealed bids open and read aloud. We received bids from 4 bidders. They were Lenora Construction Company Incorporated, Tripp Brothers Incorporated, ST Wooten Corporation, and Bridgeview Contractors Incorporated. ST Wooten Corporation was the low bid with a bid of $388,893. This project has been funded in the 25-26 budget, and the funds are available. This does not include the installation of a new digital sign or any new decorative poles. We'll bring that back to council as the project moves forward. When I say decorative poles, this would be the downtown poles for lighting. I know the council's expressed interest in the past in making some changes there. So the goal is to complete this project before August 14th, which is when school starts, prior to when school starts back. We're working diligently to advance this, and so we worked with the utility companies about relocations. When I say utilities, of course, the town utilities, our town staff, as well as telecoms, telecommunication companies, and there are quite a few in the area. So the staff is asking council to accept the award of the bid from ST Wooten Corporation in the amount of $388,893.
Mayor, may I comment?
Yes.
I know that this is a topic that many of our small business owners in the downtown area have expressed concern with, parking, and then, of course, safety for our residents who utilize our downtown area and our visitors. I'm excited to see this project come to fruition. It's already been budgeted for, and I would like to make a motion that we accept the contract with ST Wooten.
I second.
I have a motion on the floor, motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilman Moore to accept the bid from ST Wooten Incorporated for the downtown parking project. Okay. Any discussion?
I do have a point of discussion, and maybe Mr. McGuffin can help to clarify. I know there are some paving and repaving projects that are on a list. how does this, I know this is different in terms of monies that were budgeted, but in terms of like this being done, is this going to, would this contractor come before them, or how does that work? I just want to make sure that the timelines do not conflict with each other in terms of pertinence and getting things done.
Yes, ma'am. It's a separate project from what what we'll call the summer resurfacing project. This will take place. This will be a lot smaller project in a centralized location where the other ones kind of spread throughout town. So yeah, they'll come first, and then our guys will come in. We got to bid ours out and get, you know, all that stuff going. So this one's way further ahead than where we are.
But your project and the town's project and the various areas that need improvement is on like concrete, it is.
Oh, it's gonna happen, yes, ma'am. This one will just
you.
come before ours.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more? You have it? You have it? Okay. All right. With that being said, you can use your clicker. Motion carry. All right.
Thank you.
Next up is discussion of public record classification and retention of materials created during an official meeting, including photographs at swearing-in ceremonies. Councilwoman Hawkins.
Yes, based on recent legal interpretation and public records law, photographs taken during a public meeting are generally considered public records. I had a concern based off of our swearing in on December 23rd, where our mayor hired a photographer, myself, those who came to share in this celebration with me, as well as a district court judge, were photographed during that meeting. We were photographed. We were encouraged to take pictures. That was in December. In February, I requested the photographs. I didn't get a response. In March, I did. The mayor then shared that he didn't like the pictures, so they were discarded because he paid for the photographers. The purpose of me putting this as a new item is because I would like our town to adopt a formal municipal photography media policy. I was told, you know, because it was personally hired, anything can happen with them pictures. They can be discarded. I found case law, several areas of case law that says that this should not have happened. Instead of going back and forth, what is done is done. However, I wanted to make it public and on record that, you know, this was a town swearing-in ceremony, which is plainly an official governmental event. And the pictures were actually destroyed or communicated that they were destroyed. And that is my purpose of putting this on new business. This is not just a discussion. This is not just my opinions. This is a law. When a sitting judge is being photographed, along with myself, along with my family, when I have people that came from the community and from different areas to take pictures with me, and I'm not provided it and not provided an answer until after the fact, I really feel like we need to, as a town, via responsibility, accountability, and transparency, adopt some sort of policy. And I would like to make a motion that our town manager look into putting together a policy for an official way in which we can, you know, handle pictures being taken at an official capacity. That is what my motion is tonight. I don't know, we need to have something that will require retention compliance. How do you retain them? Who are these pictures given to? I know in the past, the mayor did share with us that if you are on your phone and you're texting, these can be, you know, subpoenaed. So how come photographs taken during a swearing in, you know, it doesn't matter who paid for them, it was during a public meeting. And so that is why I'm bringing this forward as new business. I hope that this can be brought up again because I will continue to bring it up. But I am making a motion that our town manager look into a variety of ways in which we can adopt a formal municipal photography and media policy. That is my motion.
State your motion.
I make a motion that Town Manager Parker and her staff look into composing or bringing before the council a formal municipal photography media policy. And this would, that's it. That's my motion.
So do you want it just a media policy for shorter, you're shorting it down, a media policy?
Formal municipal media photography or formal municipal photography media policy.
Okay. Can you get that, Evan? Got it? All right. Have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Hawkins. Do I have a second?
Can you give just a little bit of clarity? You want our town manager and staff to just look into formulating a policy of your aforementioned stated, right, for the photographs and media?
Mm-hmm.
Just for them to look into it and then bring it to us as council?
Yes, to look into it, bring it to us, and then I have more details, but I don't know if I'm time constrained. It would clarify ownership. Is this, the towns or the person who purchased it or hired the photographer? It would require retention compliance, that the town clerk manage photos that are taken in an official capacity, and it would avoid officials personally hiring photographers for governmental events, and then we not know what happens with it. So it just, honestly, it would curtail any confusion, because when you're having pictures taken during the swearing in, and you're told that they're discarded, what kind of a policy do we have? So I would like to get a tentative or formal municipal photography media policy brought back before the council so that we can then look at it, we can add to, take away. But there needs to be something formally put in place because there's nothing.
So if I may, there has been an unofficial written policy for when the town hires the person that we've been using as a town photographer for several years now, in terms of who the photos are given to, et cetera. I can certainly reduce that to writing, but what that doesn't do is address any photos taken, and I'm just using photos for the purpose of the discussion, outside of, who we took, and we have not, for all swearing-ins, have not hired the photographer, but certainly if council's desirous of us to do that, we certainly can. And I can put those things together, but again, we already have in place and can reduce to writing how we handle when we, the town, hires our town photographer, if that makes sense.
And it does, but I also heard you say it's unofficial.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
It's not reduced to writing.
Right.
And so we can definitely do that, but that
Can
will.
we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But that would only cover, just to be clear, when we've employed someone, our town photographer, to come take pictures. So I can do that with no trouble. I just don't know that that will be as inclusive as I think I heard you say.
Well, I want to prevent anybody hiring anybody to come in during official public meetings, taking pictures, and we not, you know, I want to eliminate that. And if we do have an unofficial, we need to make stuff official policy.
Right, I'd have
And
to
I don't
defer
know why
to-
this is complicated or complex.
I would probably suggest that as Terry's working on the policy, I'll work with her and certainly pass my thoughts on to the council. There's limitations on who we can prevent. In other words, this is a little different scenario, but the media can clearly come and the media can video and the media can take pictures. You know, there's limited, the council can tell them where to set up their camera and things like that, but there's limits on what the council can do for outside people coming in. So I would have some concerns about preventing anybody else from coming into any meeting and taking pictures. But clearly this policy, you could set up the town's intent through the council's intent through staff to hire someone to come in, and whenever individual is hired by staff, by the town, then those pictures would be a public record and available to the town. And that's what I think this policy would accomplish.
That's correct. That's the way we treat them currently. And so that's all I was saying, is that's the easy part, to reduce that to writing and get that back before council.
Sure, if we could have something in concrete, in policy, per that. And I do respect freedom of the press, and I do know that freedom of the press, you know, newspaper reporters, people can come in. This is also a public meeting. This is also public. So I do not want to restrict people from taking pictures. You know, this is a public place for the people. I want to make clear that this was a swearing in. This was an official meeting, and that photographer was hired to take pictures of swearing in, judge, and that was not produced. So I want to eliminate that instance happening again. I don't know how to say it. Attorney Lassiter, if you could bring something back, that would be great.
I'll be glad to work with the town manager on creating a media / photographer or photograph policy. Again, as I sit here right now, I'm not certain we can limit others from taking pictures.
Sure.
But certainly, once again, if the town brings in a photographer, those photographs would be a public record and available to anyone.
And they're currently given and managed, sometimes to me, but they end up with Don. And as clerk, he keeps those pictures and has those accordingly. And we do have written permission given that they are ours to produce, reproduce, et cetera. That's already happening, and like I said, we'll reduce that to writing and get it before council.
No, we don't have a second yet. But why we don't have a second, but also in this discussion, not just a swearing in, but any town official event where we hire a photographer, they, you know, for anything, whether it be baseball, anything.
Well, we consider
anything, right?
We consider
So
all
the
those
media,
official
right,
events.
exactly.
Yeah.
All of them are official events. So anywhere that we gather together where we hire a photographer, they're considered an official event.
That's correct.
Right. So just, not just a swearing in, but any official event that we're at would be, that we hire.
So do we still need a second for town manager to, I guess, put the policy in writing and work with town attorney on that? Do we need a second for that?
I don't, there's been a motion, I don't think there's been a second
There
yet.
hasn't been a
Okay,
second.
I'll second.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. Motion made by Councilwoman Hawkins, second by Councilwoman Harrell, Dr. Brandy Harrell. Any discussion?
I just want a point of clarification on what we're, on the motion, because initially it was all photographs, no matter who paid, and it would be public record, and I think that through discussion has kind of been changed, because, so I just want to make sure that we know what we're voting on. Perhaps the motion needs to be amended. Can somebody clarify the motion, the original motion?
Can I restate? I said that I make a motion that we compose a formal municipal photography media policy, which falls under everything that we just spoke about. It's a policy that this municipality is going to make concrete with collaboration or with the expertise of the town attorney and bring it back to us. It doesn't say all media, as this is a public place and we have freedom of the press. I said formal municipal photography media policy.
It would be prudent in that policy to include things other than photos. Are you okay with that?
It doesn't matter, yes. I
Okay.
mean, it is photography and media.
Media, that's what,
So,
okay, I
yes.
just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
This has to be in line with other public bodies, how they function.
Can you clarify what?
I'm quite sure there's some policies already in place that cover media and photographs during stuff that are in, you know, like we need to check this policy or that policy to make sure it's in line with the guidelines for municipal government.
Sure, I mean, obviously, part of our research / putting things together would make sure that everything meets.
Lines up together.
Yes.
But going back to Councilwoman Smith first, did that suffice to what you was asking?
As long as the clarification is those things that are done by the town, either in the official capacity. I think the point of clarification was that the pictures in question were paid for by somebody outside the town.
Right.
And I just want to make sure, which I'm sure Attorney Lassiter and Town Manager Parker will take into consideration when looking at this.
And Councilman Moore?
I think my question, my question is pertaining to the same, because to me, we have two things that we're speaking of. That if we have a policy, the policy is going to state that we have our own that we hire through the town. Now, if I have someone to come in to take pictures on me, for what reason or occasion, and I pay for it, for them to take pictures. Now, I can invite you to come and join into my photos. You can say yes or no. You're not obligated. But those are my pictures. I'm just saying, unless I agree, unless you and I, or one of us, has signed a contract or some sort of agreement to share, then I'm obligated to do what the contract or the written statement that you and I have. But what I'm saying is that if I take pictures and have someone to take pictures for me, those are my pictures. I don't understand. We got two things that we're speaking of. I want to make sure I understand what I'm voting on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand what I'm voting on, okay?
And I hear what you're saying, those are your pictures, but if you're taking them during a public swearing in, during a public official meeting, per case law, and I can read it to you, those are public meeting, those are public property, right here. You want me to go ahead and read case law? So open meetings and public records. Any records created by a public official involving public business are public records, regardless of whether they are taken on a personal camera or not. This is under NCGS 132-1, 121-5B, also Lind K versus Freed, 2024. Even if the photographer was personally hired, if the photographs were taken of a public meeting, they are part of a transaction of public business. So whether somebody said yes, no, maybe so, if you're taking it during that, and this is not to be adversarial, this is to get something concrete in place to prevent any misunderstanding or miscommunication in the future. Now, we can go back and forth all night long. This is law right here. When a photograph is taken of a person being sworn in with a sitting judge by a photographer that was hired by the mayor, those become public record, whether we say no or not. This is case law right here. What I am doing is bringing this up so that we as a council can find some sort of resolve and not continue going back and forth. But we can go back and forth. And yes, sir.
I'll wait till you finish.
I'm done.
Okay, my question then is, if we have a break, and most of the time, if we're going to take pictures, it's more like a break.
Right.
It's not during the meeting itself. And then we start the meeting again once we finish taking pictures. It's not during the time that you actually having your regular meeting at that time. There's a difference.
Law says even during intermission, it is in connection with a public swearing in. It doesn't matter if it's an intermission. It's happening due to a swearing in. So I say we can go, back and forth, but we can get a resolve or go back and forth. If you don't want the person in the picture, if you don't agree to give the person the picture, whether you like it or not, or if you want to change your mind, you have to be of the cognizance that this is happening. It wasn't at anyone's home. It was held right here, a swearing in. During the intermission, we didn't go outside and, outside. This happened here. So, I want resolve. I want to minimize this, but we can, and I respect that you want clarity.
Yes, I did.
But it happened, and I want some sort of resolve. I think that if we have a municipal policy in place, and even if Attorney Lassiter and Town Manager Parker says, if the town is in agreement.
Councilwoman Hawkins, do you mind giving me that second statute that you referenced, 125?
Yes, prohibition on destruction, unlawful destruction or removal of such records in violation of retention schedules can be a criminal offense, which means that if the pictures were taken during a public meeting and then destroyed. Go.
No, that's fine. Do you mind telling me the reference number?
The statute is NCGS statute 121-5B, North Carolina criminal law. This is all under public records law and public business when taking a picture. And this goes with regards to records created by a public official or contracted agent involved in public business.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I could, just briefly, you might recall on April the 24th, I sent an email to the council where I looked at this issue and I gave you my thoughts in my interpretation of the statutes that Councilwoman Hawkins has addressed. The statute does talk about the transaction of public business by a governmental official, and I think the key issue with this particular factual scenario that we have is that the mayor, not in his official capacity as mayor, but in his private capacity, hired the photographer. And there's also case law that uses that distinction to separate and to remove those photographs from being a public record, because he did it in his individual capacity, not as mayor. The town had no role in hiring the photographer, coordinating with the photographer, speaking with the photographer, and that the photographs were taken at the mayor's request of the photographer to keep as a keepsake. There's case law that addresses that, and therefore I sent the email that I sent. So I would agree. I think having a policy moving forward is a good thing, but I will say that as long as the town contacts the photographer and sets up the photographer, it'll be a public record, no question. All right.
So, call for the question. All right. You got the slide up? So just to reread it, direct the town staff to research and compose a formal municipal photography and media policy, okay? And you can vote. Three to favor. No voting Councilman Moy and Mayor Pro Tem Robson. Okay? Motion carried to the town director. Okay?
Thank you.
May I, just for my own clarification, we do not meet in July, but as soon as I can get a draft together, I'll get it sent out via email to council for review. It just may be difficult to get that done by the June 8th meeting. So I just wanted, for expectation of time purposes, since we're trying to get, the budget drafted and we'll be spending time together, can we plan to bring this for consideration at the August meeting? But,
Council, what's y'all would like that?
yes.
So August
Is that
meeting?
sufficient time? That would be my question with
Okay.
budgeting. Would that be sufficient time?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, as long as you,
Yes, because
I would like to put this to rest. We've
Okay.
spent quite a deal of time
All right.
that should be focused on
Okay.
other matters, I believe.
All right.
So let me just say this because that comment was made, all right? Anything that I say is with regards to official business, whether it's talking about pictures or not, that was during a swearing in. So that was a relative conversation. The council members are elected to speak for the community's interests, concern, and needs. And the community was in pictures with me. So those type of comments are null and void. I'm not here to please you. I'm here for the community's interests, concerns, and needs.
Let's get back on target here. Other agenda items. Number one, concentrating on focus on traffic stops, support for Civilian Review Board, Civilian Review Advisory Board, Councilwoman Hawkins.
Let me just say, and if I need to pull up something else.
Or you, I'm sorry.
I'm going by excuse me, let me just say what I need to say. Under North Carolina law, elected council members are part of the governing body, and I have a right to participate in discussion. I have a right to debate agenda items. I have a right to make motions. I have a right to ask questions, and I have a right to represent my constituents. I will not be up here feeling like I'm being rushed. I will not be up here feeling like what I am speaking of is being dismantled. What I say out of my mouth is important in with regards to the constituents. And I don't need to correct myself. The other council persons need to correct themselves. I am up here doing the business of the people. So let me proceed.
Wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit.
Let's
back up a little bit. We all up here to conduct business.
Correct.
So just keep that in mind. I said, let's move on so we can move the meeting along. It's not silencing anybody. You have the right to make your statement. They have the right to make their statement. Now it's time to put that to rest. We need to move on.
So you're not going to be conditional.
No.
You're not going to be conditional with putting anything to rest. If a council person makes a statement against saying that's not important, we need to get to, that is important. That involved the community. That was important. And so let's get this moving. That is telling me that what I'm saying is not important. I'm here to do the town's business. I put agendas, I put items on the agendas, and I have a right to speak about it. And the comment, when you make a comment, you're going to get it back. You're going to get that same energy back.
Are we ready to move on to the next agenda
We are,
items?
now I'm ready.
Okay.
And so, with regards to traffic stops, before I share February and March data, I want to clarify my purpose of the purpose for this. I am not here to specifically question individual officers or specific traffic stops. I'm not here to direct day-to-day operations. My role as a council member is to review trends, ask policy-level questions, and help ensure fairness, transparency, and public trust. What I wanted to bring before the council today and the public, because that is what I'm elected to do, is speak on behalf of the public, is share a variety of trends. And if we could pass this down, if the council wants it, it is going to capture February.
That's one.
That's, yeah, this is data for 2025 and 2026. One is 2025 and this is 2026. Yes. And so I wanted to capture February and March and looking at trends so that when I'm speaking about data, everyone has a copy if they so choose to.
No, together, it goes
They
together.
are, one is 2025, one is 2026.
Councilwoman Smith, everybody gets two handouts. That's right, right? Everybody have two handouts.
Now, just for reference, Councilwoman Hawkins, as you say, as you adequately always say, for transparency,
Yes.
did you make enough copies for the audience?
No, I did not, and,
Well,
Mayor.
I'm just saying, because I'm
You're
using.
trying to.
No.
Yes, you are.
Because I want them to be able to see the same data as we are looking at, so they can get a
So,
general.
yes, I do
right.
have an extra copy
Okay.
I can
All
pass
right.
around. Does anybody want a copy?
Right.
So, and this reference is from the State Bureau of Investigation Traffic Stop. Anybody who wants to pull it up is public information. So that lends itself to public information to the public as well. This is hard copies that I made for the council, and that's an extra copy on hand. And so The data that is going to be shared reflects, one report reflects searches, drivers and passenger searches by sex, race, and ethnicity. That is from 2025. If you look at the tables, it will show at the bottom, females, drivers stop, female passengers stop. Female driver, female passenger. That was 6 females of white race stopped between February 1st through March 31st. And female black women stop was 11 drivers, 5 passengers, 16. So 6 white females, 16 black females were, not only stopped, but searched. When we look at the total, it was 7 altogether, female and males. If y'all look all the way down, female and males were 7, There were 8 males stopped, and there were 43 black males stopped. So there were 7 white males stopped and 43 black males stopped. There were 6 white women stopped and 16 black women stopped. That is in 2025. When you look at 2026, drivers who were stopped and searched, there were 2 white females stopped, and there were 33 black females stopped. There were 0 white males stopped, and there were 44 black males stopped. This is just stops and searches, right? When we add it all up, total stopped for the month that was searched by sex, race, and ethnicity from February 1st through March 31st were 332 passengers, white, black, Native American, non-Hispanic. I did not count them in because it was 0 Native American stop, 0 Asian stop, 0 others, 0 Hispanic. So primarily, that is why I'm pointing out white and black, because those are the numbers that are being counted on this very, drivers and passengers. When we look at 2026, it is actually the same. It was 2 white people stopped and 44 black people stopped, 0 Native American, 0 Asian, 0 other. Okay? When we turn the page and we look at enforcement action taken by drivers through sex, race, and ethnicity, there was a total of 197 white people stopped and 325 black people stopped. There were 4 Asian people stopped and 18 other. Right? So I'm looking at trends and want the public in the town to look at trends as well, because I'm trying to introduce a civilian review board. In 2026, there was 146 white people stopped between the month, this right here, this year, between February 1st and March 31st, 146 white people stopped, 282 black people stopped, 3 Asian, 11 other. I am showing a trend. When we look at the next report, this is stopped for reasons, the initial purpose. And this would take a lot of time to go through, but most of the stops are for violations with regards to regulatory stops or equipment stops. And when you look at it again, in 2025, 197 white people were stopped, 325 Black people, 4 Asian, and 18 other. When you look at this year right here, 146 white people, 282 Black people, 3 Asian, and 11. So what trend do I see? I see a trend that Black people are stopped twice as much as as white people, and maybe 4 or 5 times much as anybody else, or Asians or others. And so that is a trend for me to see. And then when we look at that, we're talking about Black people who are residents, Black people who drive through Winterville. Why is this happening? Some of the excuse is that it's regulatory. They need to get their registration. They need to get their equipment. And then I brought that back up again. How are we educating the public? Are they getting fix-it tickets? What are we doing, and why is this problem consistently happening? Lieutenant Hamilton said that there will be some classes or courses, some education, but this needs to be actually looked at by every council person. This is nothing that I'm making up. Why is this happening? We want more interaction than traffic infractions. So overall, in looking at the first one, there was 332 interactions. There was 545 interactions. And then there was 332 interactions. Then there was 545 interactions. And then there was, again, 545. This may be the same via enforcement based off the purpose they were stopped. And then this year, there was 242 interactions, and then 442 interactions. The interactions are happening mostly with males between the age of 16 and 55. We want more interactions in traffic infractions. We talk about the police doing the senior program. We talk about them doing coffee with a cop. But what we need is a civilian review advisory board that will actually look to decrease these numbers and or find justification to continue to stop twice as many Black people without educating them. Town Manager Parker has shared that I asked for a report. I just want to know the timeline. Is that going to come in 6 months? How does that work, and how can the town look at it overall, not just 2 months, not just 6 months, but how can we look at this from an in-town perspective? Because this is happening every day.
So yes, ma'am, I certainly anticipate hopefully bringing back the report we've been working on and at least giving it to council by the August meeting. I certainly think it would probably warrant maybe even a workshop by itself to discuss more in detail. In terms of the time period, and Lieutenant and I haven't specifically discussed it yet, but we would certainly be looking at, of course, we're only part of the way into 2026, so we would go back, obviously, this year to date, and then probably, I would say, the previous 3 years, just to kind of get a sense of when we're talking about trends, and we can even go back further than that. if council deems it appropriate to try to look at longer-term trends. So I'm not sure if that answers your question, but that's sort of what I've got on my mind.
It does, and I just wanted something on record in terms of a timeline. And then looking at this report, many of the interactions result in verbal warning as opposed to written warning. 70 verbal warnings, 2 written warnings. How, 102 verbal warnings, 1 written warning. So when you have verbal warnings after the interaction, after the searches, after the where are you going, after, and I know some of these things are for safety purposes, you can go about your way. There is no documentation in terms of what is happening with a verbal warning. So a civilian review advisory board will be able to look at these periodically. And again, it is not being anti-police, it is being pro-transparency, pro-accountability, and pro-providing any citizens with answers to why it is a disparity. This is a disparity and a red flag.
If I could just say that part of the report that the lieutenant and I will be working on will include a lot of that information in terms of every stop has body camera footage. So there is always, whether they're getting a written or verbal warning, there is video footage of the interaction of that particular stop. So again, we will try to be as inclusive as we can be, and then certainly once we discuss it in a workshop setting or whatnot, then what we don't cover, then we can certainly, if we have to have more than one meeting, is where I was going with this, we can certainly do that.
Thank you, and I appreciate it, and I will continue to bring data forward, and I look forward to the report that you all will provide in August. Thank you.
Ma'am.
In reading the description for the Civilian Review Advisory Board, I noticed that it had an emphasis on complaints. So basically, what you've given us tonight, which is today, this would be reviewed by that Civilian Review Board also. They would look at
Yes,
those
absolutely.
outside of, because when I read it, I said, well, this handles complaints, and I didn't see this kind of thing included in the job description.
So, Mayor Pro Tem Robertson, if you saw anything about complaints, that was just one portion. The Civilian Review Advisory Board is essentially a board of citizens that are neutral either way, that looks at complaints, that looks at tickets, that looks at data, and looks at trends in terms of police interaction via traffic stops. Complaints are just one portion, and here in Winterville, with regards to the complaints, I don't even know if there are a lot of documented complaints, but with the Civilian Review Board, then we would get more viable complaints. We have a complaint form in place, but I don't know, we don't know, I think Lieutenant Hamilton was the person responsible for reviewing those. But how does that look? How do we count how many complaints were verified? How many complaints were, resolved? How does, we don't know that, but a Civilian Review Board would dig a little bit deeper into that. So complaints are one thing, but data is what is going to drive those complaints. And then also having an education or a civilian, not a task force, but a civilian class or course to educate the citizens on what traffic stops are, why they are, We even here in Winterville have a ride-along program. How many of our citizens know that? So a civilian advisory review board is a review board that would meet periodically every 3 months to look at all of this, a culmination of all of this, to help our town get better in terms of traffic stop disparities.
Councilwoman Smith?
I was just noticing, so we've spoken a great deal about the distinction between the, like, regulatory violation, equipment violations, things to that matter. But I found it interesting in, as reviewing the data on the 3rd page, actual moving violations, for instance, speeding, light, and which I'm assuming stoplight, sign violation, probably not coming to a complete stop, or running lights and things like that. If you will review those numbers, there's quite a bit of similarity, like there's less, as you pointed out, disparity. In fact, in several of them, there are more white male and females stopped for those violations than others. I just thought that was an interesting point.
Yeah, interesting, but the total is 146 white people and 282 black people. And when we look at speeding violations, there is equal for these 2 months, February 1st through March 31st. However, if you pull a 6 months, go back 6 months, go back a year, go back 2 years, you will find that disparity is still twice as many. So for February 1st through March 31st, 2026, 15 and 15 for speeding, 3 white persons and 2 black people for stoplights. We're talking about overall disparities. We're not talking about numbers that are the same, equal, or 1 or 3 or 5 differences. We're talking about double the number in total. And while that's good to point out, you can go back and track trends for 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 5 years. It has been ongoing disparities. What I do want to point out is, since I have brought this to the council, since Dr. Harrell also have asked about NCLEA, and since we have been just identifying these, there has been an increase. There has been an increase in overall traffic stops. While it is still double, the drivers searched by sex, race, and ethnicity have decreased by 90 stops. Enforcement by sex, race, and ethnicity has decreased from 2025 to 2026, have decreased by 103 stops. So I would say this supports having eyes on and a civilian review board. That is all that I need to say, unless anybody else have additional questions with regards to traffic stops.
Anybody else have any question on this traffic stop, our civilian review board? Okay. So next, we'll move on to Winterville at Work, APP, Awareness, Education, Navigation, Councilwoman Hawkins.
Yes, this is going to be really, really quickly. I spoke with Director Cliff McGuffin, Director of Public Works, in terms of our citizens and residents getting maybe work orders to him while he is trying to meet the needs of the town. It would be more efficient if our citizens are able to put in like a work order, but a lot of them don't know how to. So I would like to know how we can, as a town, I know Town Manager Parker, when the app was introduced, we said that we would provide some sort of presentation or step-by-step to help. A lot of our residents don't even know that there isn't an app that exists and how to work it. I spoke to a lady this evening, and she was telling me some things in terms of public works, and I said the app, and she didn't know anything. And I have her name and stuff I'll give you later. She wanted. So what can we do and how soon? It doesn't have to be anything, you know, big, but something that can get to everyone as a way to help them navigate it.
So I certainly think that we can put some of those directional type instructions in a variety of postings up to and including our newsletter that goes out to everyone. We can continue to try to make that available. I do think that as of today, Mr. Harvey looked, and we have right at about 800 people signed up. We're a town of over 11,000, so obviously there's a lot of room for additions on the app itself, but the app is structured for that very thing. If people see things they would like to complain about, concerned about, talk about, the app is probably the most direct way to get the concern, the conversation, or whatnot to the applicable department. So staff will work on ASAP starting just to try to remind everyone that we do have the app, how to sign up for it, and then how to utilize it. It's pretty simple, so I think most people should be pleased about its user-friendliness and how to get their information to their respective departments.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That is it for that item.
Next up is, excuse me, anybody else have any discussion on that? Okay. All right, next up is youth opportunities / immediate resource available and needs, Councilwoman Hawkins.
I just wanted to bring this up. I was looking at our youth athletics, and we do have a variety of youth athletic programs. We have 4 baseball teams, 3 football teams, 1 soccer team, 1 cheerleading team. And I think this is great. We have a population of between 23 and 26% youth at the ages of 0 to 16. But I just wanted to share, I'll open, it doesn't necessarily have to be to Parks and Recreation, but how can we expand on youth opportunities? We do have a subgroup via the Human Relations Board, but that doesn't isolate and say, hey, you get all the youth, you do things for the youth. How can we as a town provide things to meet the needs to improve idle time, negative behaviors, strengthen academic confidence? You know, we have young scientists, we have young people who want to do gardening, who want to do technical coding. How do we take our expertise and help with the youth? And I was just thinking that perhaps there can be some sort of survey sent out. There can be an opportunity for mentorship. What can we do as a town? There doesn't have to be an answer now, but I can tell you we are on the heels of summer, and our youth, if they are not in school or at camp, they have idle time. So I just want us to keep that in mind, that we need to invest in expanding, and it doesn't have to be costly. We can take what we know and help them. So that is something, and that is immediate, as well as we are immediate resources as well as what is needed. Just career, workforce development. I know we spoke about briefly what I just learned about are summer jobs for youth that I knew nothing about. But just what can we do? and nobody has to answer it. I just wanted to bring it to the public. So please, let us, all departments, let us as a town think about our youth that are beyond the ages of 13, 15. We have 16-year-olds, we have 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and they are still part of our town.
Okay. You finished on that?
Yes, I'm done.
Anybody have any discussion on that? Anybody? Okay. Well, next up is items for future agenda and future work sessions.
We do have some denoted, and we'll be trying to get some dates set this summer for those.
Okay.
Are we going to meet in July? If we don't meet in July.
No, ma'am. Y'all, when you passed your meeting calendar in December, it did not include a meeting in July.
But it seems to me that we've had about a year, and we've got a lot of things that we need to discuss over this side. Say we're going to get to them later. That would seem like an opportune time. We could use some of that time. I know people got vacations and things like that going on. If we could find some time to, after the budget, to clear up some of those things that we need to.
Talking about workshops.
Yeah, those workshops, and everything. I think we would all function better because some of the things have to do with our policies and rules and procedures and things like that. We would function better during the year. It would be worth that investment.
Yes, ma'am.
Other council members, how do you feel about that?
Proposed dates, I mean, it would just depend on proposed dates, I think, for everybody.
Yeah,
Be fun to
around
look at dates.
vacations, people have vacations or obligations during that time. But I would think that that would be a good time to come together and get some things done.
So in terms of meeting in July, no regular meeting in July.
No regular meetings.
Correct.
These would be special meetings to discuss some of the items that we've been putting on, I won't say the back burner, but the list keeps growing.
The list has been,
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, what's the difference in doing it in July or August, September, November? I'm saying, because the issue has always been, we can never get together with our schedules. So what's the difference in July than any rest of the months? I'm just asking that question.
We've got two educators up here.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong from either side of the educators thing, but again, we know when we sign up to run for office, we expected to perform our duties. Whether you educator or I work myself, I'm just saying, but we owe the public that to get things done and in a time frame.
That's what I'm asking.
So
that's what I'm asking right now for, is input from the board as to, would that be possible? If it's not, that's fine, I'll work around whatever also. But I was thinking that might be a time that we would have available, some time available to me on some of these things that are on our to-do list.
I think if we could just get some dates, as Councilwoman Smith said, if we could get the dates emailed to us, and then we could go from there. Thank you.
Any other future agenda items or work session? If not, move to the announcements. Don, can you, for time, can you highlight?
I'm just going to draw your attention, and of course, the way we've been doing it, you can pull that off and take it with you for the next month. Primarily, I'm going to, if you look at May 21st is our first budget session, the 22nd is the second budget session, and then tentatively, if we need a third one, is on May 28th, and the budget public hearing is set for June the 1st. Your next regular meeting is on June 8th.
Say that again. You said May 21st, and then you said May 22nd.
26th.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm sorry if I
You said
misstated
22nd.
that. It won't be the last time. I
Okay.
So the three budget workshops are the 21st, the 26th, and the 28th.
All right,
Correct.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
if I-
Yeah,
Just to verify.
just to verify. All right.
I do think there's a change here, and I'd ask Ms. White to verify, but the Recreation Advisory Board meeting scheduled for May 26th is canceled. So if you all would just strike through that item, it's about just slightly over halfway down.
Also, I'd point out that we will be closed on Memorial Day.
All right. Okay. All right. Reports, start, down with Councilwoman Hawkins.
As this is May, and we talked about Mental Health Awareness Month, as you notice, I have on a shirt that says, "Are you okay?" We need to begin to verbalize that to each other more, as opposed to taking offense, defense, but are you okay? You know, we just had Mother's Day. As everyone knows, my mother passed away February 2025. We look at each other in, you know, to listen, to respond, as opposed to listen to hear. You never know what anyone is going through, what mountains they have climbed. So sometimes we need to say, are you okay? I would also recommend that we do this to our youth. I work around many, many youth, and our youth become those in our communities. Whether we invest in them now or invest in them later, we will invest in them, and we cannot erase them. They have, those that are in school, test-taking time is here. They are highly stressed. By the end of May through the first week of June, there are end-of-grade tests. I want everyone to please keep our youth in mind. For us, they are more than a score, and they deserve the best. I also just want to share that for me, myself, I am not making an adjustment to any injustice. I am not adjusting to injustice, and as a council person, my role is to listen to residents, bring community concerns to the council, vote in the public's best interest, and be accountable to the voters. Again, I wish the students do your best on a test, and you are more than a score, but we know you can do it. That is my comment.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Harrell.
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you to our citizens that are still here, the ones that came out. Thank you for coming to our town meeting to give us, you know, your input, and also just to see you in the attendance. Also, thank you to our staff. Thank you to this council. Thank you to the ECU Health Hub team. It was a great pleasure to partner with them and sit at the table and actually bring that initiative to our Winterville library. So I hope that our residents will take part and use that wonderful resource. As Councilwoman Hawkins talked about our youth, I'd like for our council to think about having a youth citizen of the year. I know we have, you know, citizens of the year who, of course, are adults, but let's, you know, celebrate our youth and, you know, think about having a youth citizen of the year. I love to kind of sit down with you all and talk about what that would look like and how that nomination and all those things would look for the youth of our town. And last but not least, Mental Health Awareness Month is very near and dear to my heart as a therapist and, you know, clinical social worker and all the things. I just ask you all to please don't judge what you don't understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Robinson.
I'd like to thank the town of Winterville for sponsoring, we had City Vision, the workshops, with information, being passed out by the vendors, as well as the conversations with, people from other areas and finding out what things and how they're overcoming some of the obstacles. So I do appreciate that.
Councilwoman Smith.
I'd just like to thank everybody for all their hard work. Thank you, Ms. Fuller and everybody. Thank you, Lieutenant Hamilton, for introducing our 2 new police officers. I know they'll be a great addition to our town. I learned something, my new fact for today was ROD, the Racket on Demand program over at the park. I was not aware of that. I think that's a neat opportunity. Thank you again. As always, I know it's Public Works Week next week, but every day, public work is very important. And once again, I hope everybody noted that Rivers and Associates commended our staff once again on a great job, and the workings of a town are very complicated, and I was very impressed with the reduction of the inflow and infiltration. That's a huge thing in the background. So thank you, everybody, for all your hard work. Mentioned or unmentioned, you're seen every day, and we thank you very much.
Councilman.
Yes, I would like to say the same thing. I would like to say that I appreciate our staff that we have here, from town manager right on down to department heads to all the employees. I do know that we do have appreciation ceremony coming up very soon. I have seen that, and it's more welcome to our staff. It shows that you all really do way beyond what the calls to do the call for. I just want to say thank you. And I want to say also for Integrity Church coming in, being annexation with the town of Winterville. We welcome them being part of our town.
Okay.
One other thing. Yes, forgot that. Thank you for allowing me to go to the City Vision in Raleigh on May 5th through the 7th. It was, like Ms. Robinson stated, good information. The tour was excellent. You need to see, if you get the opportunity to go to Raleigh, visit their new park that they have, just opened up last year. And the park is Dorothy Dix Old Hospital. The city of Raleigh have purchased it, and they already have done a tremendous job in the area. You need to take if you got little ones there, they got some for all ages from 0 up to the 16, 15-year-old, from water park to swing to trails. They has it all inside that park. It is awesome. Get a chance, please visit Dorothy Dix Hospital, the old Dorothy Dix Hospital in Raleigh.
Ernie.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report. I do want to reflect that we do have a closed session tonight pursuant to 143-318-11A5, so that to allow staff to get instruction from the council regarding the acquisition of property. Thank you.
Manager.
I don't have any comments except to say thanks to everyone. I've been under the weather quite a bit lately. It's been an ongoing chronic issue, but I do appreciate those of you that have reached out to me, and hopefully I'm on the mend, so thank you.
And for me as well, I attended the City Vision Conference in Raleigh this past week, and was featured in our City Vision on the platform from the town of Winterville as a recipient on the big screen. But also, too, I want to commend the town of Winterville because of what we're doing in Winterville. Safe, let me get it right, because they told me at the conference. SafeWise, and you can look it up, SafeWise, it's North Carolina safest cities of 2026. And the rundown is Reedsville was number one with 11,884 people. Pinehurst is number two with 18,716 people. Davison is three with 14,332 people. Waxhaw is four with a population of 23,893. Elon is fifth with 11,585. Stallings is six with 17,564. Fuquay Marina is 47,436. And number 8 is Winterville, North Carolina, as the we, with 10,926. Boone comes in at number 9 at 20,024. And Mint Hill, which is a population of 28,259. And what's really, really good about for Winterville is y'all know just all the names that I read. They're in the western part or west of 95. We're the only town east of 95 that's considered one of the safest cities. And it says that we have cut crime 50% since last year. 50% now. So that says a lot about your community. That says a lot about your community. And it's something that we should all be proud of when we can say we're on the top 10. And we have been as high as, I think, 5. We have been as high as 5 on this list before. And
I believe it's 4.
It's 4?
Third.
Third, okay. Yeah, third, okay. I knew it was in before a little bit. But that's awesome. And so that's commendable, you know, and that's something that we should all take pride in. So we're gonna go move now into closed session. Can I get a motion to move in closed session?
So moved.
All right. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, use your clicker, I'm sorry.
Clicker.
Who moved and seconded?
Oh,
You did?
yes, Lisa and
Okay.
Dr. Harrell.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
I'm sorry. All right,
Just like to.
move to closed session.
I know, me too. I'm gonna have to make a.
Move to the restroom wherever you need to go with.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm on good too.
I won't be able to decipher this thing tomorrow. I'm-
Hold on, hold on.
I told you so. I just write it down.
All right, a motion come back in the, open session.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Harrell, second by Councilwoman Smith. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Hit your clicker, I'm sorry. My
I got it
clicker
working, please
person-
use it.
All right,
Got it going.
Ms. Robinson. All right, motion carried. All right, now can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Who is that? Ms. Dr. Harrell and Pro Tem Robinson, use your clicker. Adjourn. Hold on, at least I'm gonna show you.